You know, sometimes when you write a children's story, you get the gift of an illustrator who makes pictures out of your words. And then you have this extraordinary experience of a musician making a song out of your story. And that's a gift that Carrie gave me. It's a story about a word. Now, I'm sure you've been staying up nights trying to figure out what the most common word in the Bible is. And perhaps you're thinking it might be God, or perhaps it's love. You'd be wrong. The most common word in the Bible is and. In Hebrew, it's just one letter, a vav. It is the middle letter of the Torah. Some say that the vav was the mark placed on Cain's forehead. God wanted Cain and everyone who saw him to know that we are our brothers and sisters' keeper. He wanted them to see the mark of the and. And so this is a story about the and. There was once a girl who loved to count. She counted the cracks in the sidewalk and the words on the page. She counted the clouds in the sky and the stars at night. One day, she decided to count the letters in the Torah. Now, she knew the last letter of the Torah was Lamed. I mean, she knew this because she went to Bethel Tzedek Sunday School, right? It had the sound of an L. And she also knew the first letter was a bet. It had the sound of a B. And together, those two letters spelled the word lev, which means heart. And she knew that whatever she did, she should do with all of her heart. What she did not know was the middle letter of the Torah. And she figured that if she knew that, she would only have to count half the letters to know how many letters there were in the Torah. So she asked her great-grandmother, "What is the middle letter of the Torah?" Her great-grandmother knew lots of things from long ago. "What a great question," her great-grandmother's eyes brightened. "The middle letter is a vav. It sounds like a V, and it means and. It is the most important word in the Bible." "That's silly," the little girl laughed. "What's so important about the word and?" "Well, let me tell you a story about the and," her great-grandmother smiled. Once there was a square that sat all alone, just a plain old box. Then along came a triangle. It said to the box, "You're square." The box looked sad until and entered the picture. And placed the triangle on top of the square, and the square and a triangle made a house. Then the circle came rolling along all by itself, and a line approached. It said to the circle, "You're a pushover." The circle looked sad until Anne arrived and put the circle at the end of the line, and a circle and a line created a balloon. There were still other shapes that didn't want to be alone, but really weren't sure how to be together. A rectangle was waiting all by itself, and a triangle showed up. It said to the rectangle, "You're flat." The rectangle looked unhappy until and entered the picture. And put the rectangle on top of the triangle, and the rectangle and the triangle fashioned a seesaw. The oval was resting all alone on the ground. A line drew close. It said to the oval, "You're squashed." The oval grimaced until and appeared, and arranged the line and the oval next to each other. An oval next to a line made a musical note. And many notes made a song. And so it was that Anne connected the box and the triangle and the circle and the line and the rectangle and the oval. All the shapes together created the sea and the sky and the earth and you and me. But you sat all by yourself when I came into the room. You wouldn't play with me, and I wouldn't play with you. Then came Anne. It snuck under the door and placed itself right in the middle, between us. Then you and I became we, and we became friends. I like that story the little girl announced. But the story isn't finished yet, her great-grandmother whispered. Of course, the little girl agreed. There you are, and here I am. They gave each other a big hug. And you and I make we, and we make family. The little girl's eyes were beaming. It was just the beginning of the story. So she began counting the ands in the Torah, and all around her.
Down a dusty road, a circle rolled along, feeling all alone with all her edges gone, until she bumped into a single line, and she thought that somehow this must be a sign. But the line called it a wreck and said you don't even have a neck. But over the hill came the small word and, so simple and sure, saying yes we can. And she took them by the hands, together they bloomed into a glowing red balloon. What wonders there will be when you and I are we. A triangle sat on the green, green ground, all alone, making all her angled sounds, until a square scooched up with a grinding noise and said, I've got no use for an almost trapezoid. But you heard what he said, and she scratched her pointy head. But over the hill came the small word and, simple and sure, saying yes we can. She took them by the hand, said have no doubt that together we can be a house. What wonders there will be when you and I are we. This is the part that gets mysterious. This is the part that applies to us. I am I and you are you. And this is nothing new. Remember, it's a fact. We are stronger back to back to back. But over the hill came the small word and, so simple and sure, saying yes we can. And she took them by the hand, showed them how to trust, that you and I can become your sorry head. And he placed a word, and this is what it read. It was the letter about the Hebrew hand, that all the world might love and understand, that together we abide. It's more than you and I. But over the hill came the small word, and simple and sure, say yes we can. Took him by the hand, showed him how to trust, that you and I can become us. What wonders there will be when you and I are we family.